about night things in the middle of the afternoon. And every night you make my daydreams come true. Well, all day long while I'm working in town, time slows down to a crawl. When I'm not thinking about you, I'm checking the clock on the wall. Then it's goodbye factory and hello love, and there's a smile across my face, 'cause I'm back in the arms of your sweet love, where my thoughts have been all day. I'm having daydreams about night things in the middle of the afternoon. And while my hands make a living, my mind's home loving you. I'm having daydreams about night things in the middle of the afternoon. And every night you make my daydreams come true. I'm having daydreams about night things in the middle of the afternoon. And while my hands make a living, my mind's home loving you. I'm having daydreams about night things in the middle of the afternoon. And every night you make my daydreams come true. Yeah, every night you make my daydreams come true.
All my rowdy friends have settled down, and they seem to be more into laid-back songs. Nobody wants to get drunk and get loud. Everybody just wants to go back home. I myself have seen my wilder days, and I have seen my name at the top of the page. But I need to find a friend just to run around. But nobody wants to get high on the town. And all my rowdy friends have settled down. And I think I know what my father meant when he sang about a lost highway. And old George Jones, I'm glad to see, is finally getting straight. And Waylon's staying home and loving Jesse more these days. And nobody wants to get drunk and get loud. And all my rowdy friends have settled down. And the hangovers hurt more than they used to. And cornbread and iced teas took the place of pills and 90 proof. And it seems like none of us do things quite like we used to do. And nobody wants to get high on the town. And all my rowdy friends have settled down. Yeah, I think I know
Well, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie. We laid rubber on the Georgia asphalt. We got a little crazy, but we never got caught. Down by the river on a Friday night, pyramid of cans in the pale moonlight, talking about cars and dreaming about winning. Never had a plan, just a living for the minute. Yeah, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, never knew how much that muddy water meant to me. But I learned how to swim and I learned who I was, a lot about living and a little about love. Well, we fogged up the windows in my old Chevy. I was willing, but she wasn't ready. So I settled for a burger and a grape snow cone. I dropped her off early, but I didn't go home. Down by the river on a Friday night, a pyramid of cans in the pale moonlight, talking about cars and dreaming about women. Never had a plan, just a living for the minute. Yeah, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, never knew how much that muddy water meant to me. But I learned how to swim and I learned who I was, a lot about living and a little about love. Yeah, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, never knew how much that muddy water meant to me. But I learned how to swim and I learned who I was, a lot about living and a little about love, a lot about living and a little about love.
with me. Hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe? I got a hot rod Ford and a $2 bill, and I know a spot right over the hill. There's soda pop and the dancing's free. So if you wanna have fun, come along with me. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me?
I was tired of my lady, we'd been together too long. Like a worn-out recording of a favorite song. So while she lay there sleeping, I read the paper in bed. And in the personal columns, there was this letter I read. If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, if you're not into yoga, if you have half a brain, if you like making love at midnight in the dunes on the Cape, then I'm the love that you've looked for. Write to me and escape. About my lady, I know that sounds kinda mean, but me and my old lady have fallen into the same old routine. So I wrote to the paper, took out a personal ad, and though I'm nobody's poet, I thought it wasn't half bad. Yes, I like pina coladas, getting caught in the rain. I'm not much into health food, I am into champagne. I've got to meet you by tomorrow noon and cut through all this red tape at a bar called O'Malley's.
Oops. Right? Fix. Jim was a great guy, and you're honoring him by being here as a testament to that. Also, the OFD Honor Guard, Mel Shima, Mark Moreno, Matt Savik, and Andre Vaselli. Thank you very much. You do the department proud. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm Dan Dwyer, and it was my honor to say that I'm Jim Colussi'S friend. Family was most important to Jim. He's a loving husband, a dedicated father and papa to his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Teaching and mentoring came natural to Jim. He was always there to help and guide, not just his family, but friends and co-workers as well. The first time I met Chief Colussi's, I was a new kid studying for a drill, trying to be invisible at the kitchen at Station 8. Jim and George Harvey had a pile of rope in front of him, and some other firemen had just gotten a boat, and they were preparing line for him. I could feel them watching me. Pretty soon there's the first question, then another question. Before long, I'm standing in front of a city map and I'm getting a street drill. He wasn't being a hard ass, he was just trying to help out a new kid. That was just the way he was. He couldn't help but help and teach. That was his way. During the 40 plus years since then, he's taught me a lot more. Probably more about fishing than firefighting, but that's okay. Judy has expressed her desire to have a celebration for Jim's life. She wants stories. So you guys have them, don't be afraid to get up here and tell them. We want you to share your memories of a special man whose wit, wisdom, leadership, and generosity touched so many of us. Before we start that open mic though, Jim's daughter Debbie would like to say a few words in honor of her dad. Debbie, come on up.
Thank you everybody for being here. I'm Debbie, Jim's oldest daughter, and I have a letter from my dad. Dear Dad, what a great way to start a letter. I was just getting ready to close my eyes and sleep. I had a CD I played that sounded just like the birds that sang in the trees at Grandma and Grandpa's house. I started to cry and realized I hadn't told you that the best days of my life with you have been time spent with you. Times waiting for you to get home as a small girl, being tickled by you at night, and having you read bedtime stories to me. For the time you gave yourself to paint our house in Scotts Valley. He was there for a week, and that was the longest time I had spent with my dad over a long period of time. I enjoyed your company and having a beer at night with you and going out to Mexican food. So oftentimes great moments happen, and they are never shared with the person that would be my dad. And you never would know just how much you mean to me. You know, some families can have their share of ups and downs, good times and bad times. But there's one thing that makes me different, and it makes me better. And it's because no matter what, I was born a Colussi's. I say that with pride and respect. The blood of that name runs through my veins. It's more than a name. It's something I love about being me. It's the real thing. So just in case you didn't know, Dad, I love spending time with you. I'm glad you are my dad, and nothing can take that away. Love your shoebox baby. When my dad was close to the end of his days, I told him, we told each other we loved each other, and I told him how much I was going to miss him. And he said, please rejoice that I'm not going to be suffering anymore. So this is a Native American saying that I think reflects when you were born, you cry and the world rejoices. When you die, you rejoice and the world cries. Thank you for being here.
I'd like to just take like a moment of silence real quick and let like James's energy just kind of fill the room. Just really like feel it. Alright, hello everybody, my name is Nathan. I'm a proud great-grandson of James Colussi's. I think I'm really grateful to be here. I think this is a great experience to be able to speak in front of all you guys. Normally I'm a proud member of AA, so usually when I go up to a microphone I say, hey, my name is Nathan, I'm an alcoholic, but today I'm a proud grandson of James Colussi's. James was a really special light. I'm young, but through my walk of life and my journey, I've never met a man like James. He was very special, and just I can't really describe him. There's nobody really like that I can meet in my life. All the men that I meet today, it's very it's sad, in today's day and age, the image of a man. So I kind of wrote a couple words for James. I typed it out for Papa. I call him Papa. Give me 1 second here. Alright. Today is a special day to remember, to celebrate the life of one of the most influential people of my life, James Colussi's, who I call Papa. I think that it is beautiful and amazing to see all the people that attended today and hear their stories on how James made an impact on their lives, and my life as well. Hold on, my phone is not working with me.
Did you use paper?
I had a paper, but I lost it. And I apologize for that. I'm very unprofessional of me, and I'm kind of sad. But anyway, so people that attend today hear the stories on how James made an impact on their lives and my life as well. James was no ordinary person. The rarity to have such a kind soul and a pure heart enter your life is 1 in a billion. James embodied the meaning of what a true man is and what a true man values. James valued family and respect. He valued relationships and community. He carried out the responsibility to be a father to multiple children and to teach them a way of living. The amount of gratitude I have for him raising me cannot be expressed. I am the man I am today because of James. In this day of age, the idea of a man and what a true man is has been skewed. People seem to believe today what makes a true man is how much money they have in their bank account and how much women they've been with. But they are dead wrong. In my journey, I have learned that true men carry out the responsibility of taking care of a family, and as well as carry out the acts of selfless and undying service to a community of like-minded people they have met along the way in the journey of life. These things are what James did. James was the most selfless person I knew, with the love behind each action he carried out in my life. James was a true role model and a leader, with knowledge and wisdom that I never took for granted. In my life today, I'm in constant action to pay James's love forward by selfless acts of kindness and showing love and compassion to my fellows and to my family, to embody the meaning of a real man. My love and kindness goes out to all that attended today and celebrate, as well as my prayers and gratitude goes out to Papa while he's up in heaven watching over us. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Somebody's got another story they want to tell you. We're all caught up. We might. But I might, before we do that, can I get the 15 engine and the honor guard to come up forward? We want to get a picture of you guys. What a handsome group. Thank you, Bill. So if you have a funny story, if you have some memory that maybe some of the rest of us haven't heard, please come forward and share it with the rest of us. Oh no, you guys are.
And you don't have to get up. Just raise your hand and we will bring you the mic.
People, what are you, an escort?
I got nothing to say.
I didn't think so. And that's the best way to
So anybody that knew my dad, we knew when he was upset, he would give you that messy look. That's what us kids called it. We knew we were in trouble. Those eyes would get big, and he would just look at you. One time, I had to run home to take care of my dog, and he's like, "Shit, see, your dog needed a kidney, you'd probably give it one." And I'm like, "Yeah?" And he's like, "It's just a dog. But if you know that he had Cece, the princess." Does everybody know who Cece is? That was his girl. So one day he was sitting there playing with her, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, Pop, if Cece needed a kidney, would you give her one?" And he's like, "I get it." Yeah, he was still learning towards the end. But yeah, messy look. Remember that, you guys?
Thank you. Steve August.
Hi, my name is Steve August. I was an open fireman for 32 years, and I got a lot of stories about Bigfoot. But one that might bring back some memories for maybe a dozen or so guys around here. It goes back 50 years. I know that because I think it was one of the first times I met Jim. I was with my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, and we were up at 16 engine, and Cinders, their mascot, a Dalmatian, was having puppies. And before this, the house fund needed a little inflow of cash, so they bred Cinders and tried to sell puppies for, I don't know, $200, $300 a piece. So everybody in the department was waiting for Cinders to have her pups. And so the day came when Cinders had her pups, and the first one came out all white. That was perfect. They all come out white. The next one came out brown and black. And you could see the faces on all of these guys that saw all that money go right down the tube. So the word went out that the puppies now were not $200, but they were $10. That's when I decided to take my 3-year-old up to 16 to pick out a puppy. And that's how we met Jim Colussi's.
What did you name the dog? What did you name the dog?
Sparky.
got Sparky's brother.
I'm your honorary. No, we're Charlie's I am. I'll give you the $10 if you guess which one I am.
Third.
Third what? At the top or the bottom? Oh, way off. Third from the bottom.
Third from the
Third from the
bottom.
bottom. Yes, I am Marie Arnerich. John Arnerich is my brother, my oldest brother, because I'm the youngest girl, and there's 2 younger boys than me. And I love Mr. Colussy. That's all I can say. But I have a funny story. From the year of 2006, my brother John and my brother Tom were both witnesses there because they sat next to Mr. Colussy. And poor Mrs. Colussy sitting there going, oh my goodness, guys. So John's youngest daughter, Deidre, got married in New Orleans. And in true New Orleans fashion, she had her wedding in the Omni Hotel. And in true New Orleans fashion, she had a second line that we walked. And I'm telling you right now, if you've never done New Orleans, do it. It is fun. The streets were closed for us, her wedding party. We walked the streets, we were dancing in the streets. Deidre and her husband Jonathan led with their parasols. We walk around to Pat O'Brien's. Anybody knows Pat O'Brien's? Which all you firemen should, for Christ's sake. I hear all the stories of the Crumble Club and Randy Motus and the Barbie Jaw. So, Pat O'Brien's is a famous bar that makes the hurricanes. So Deidre rented out the top story in a true New Orleans fashion. Deidre had boxes of beads, because you could go to New Orleans to the Mardi Gras warehouse, I've been there, and buy boxes of beads, so Deidre had them. So there, Mr. Colussy and John and Tom, and I know Barbara, my sister-in-law, Mrs. Colussy were probably out there, and they were sitting out there, and it's a nice night, and they're not really figuring the beads, but other people are throwing it down the street. So finally, Thomas is just taking the beads, just throwing them. They're really down there, he's just throwing them. And Mr. Colussy said, Tom, make a mermaid. And of course in California, that's what we all think of Mardi Gras, that they all expose themselves on Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street they do, but not everywhere in Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is really fun. So, Tom now is like dangling beads over the balcony. Mr. Calussy's the encourager. John is just sitting there sweating profusely going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm involved in this. So I take Thomas's youngest daughter, Nicole, my godchild. Come on, Nicole, we're going down the street. What are we doing down there? Auntie says, come on. So we go down to the street. I look up at them at the end, because they occupied that end corner for 2.5 hours. Mind you all, this is like midnight. You guys are usually in bed, right? So I go on the street, and I'm wearing a dress. And I'm down and I go, waving my arms, Mr. Colussy, throw me some beads. And I take my dress like this, and instantly he stood up, Otis, no! I'm dying on the streets. My brother Thomas and John are saying, please, Marie, do not lift your dress. I'm not gonna lift my dress. And I went up and he said, you scared me, Otis, because that's, my brother John gave me that nickname, by the way. Otis when I was a kid. And so he said, you scared me. I said, Mr. Colussy, I would never do that. I just wanted to see if I could get you guys to stop throwing beads for me. And they still continued. They ran out of beads and they put to my knees, got any more beads? I'm like, teacher, man, these guys were like in the corner. So when I went to Mardi Gras for 13 years, every Mardi Gras I caught Mr. Colussy and the beads. And that's how long I'm close with me. And forever and a day, I will love him and I will miss him and I will never, ever, ever forget that.
Anybody?
Don't worry, Dan, it's the other Joe. I wanted to stand up here today and just kind of share something on behalf of my father, Jimmy Griffin. He wanted me to say some words on his behalf. And on my behalf as well, in my experience. We talk to each other all the time, we reminisced, and the name would come up a lot and how much we admired him. We started talking, and the first thing that's coming out of his experience that he's trying to get out is just the essence of what he was about. But And the biggest thing that came across was his love for Judy, and how wonderful a person Judy was, and she too was in the public service as a nurse, I believe, and dedicated her life to helping others. And that stuck big with him. And was also, my father admired him as a father in the way he spoke of his children and the love he knew he had there and had for each other. And he even remembers fondly that, I think it was Peter,
Yes, yeah.
made my father a cutting board, which he still remembers and really appreciated. And he knew that came from his father, Jim, teaching him how to do all this, the skill and just the things that he passed down. Because one thing my father said was that Jim was incredible at being a mechanic, building and doing things and being able to apply that. And he applied those into helping people. And the other thing that he admired a lot was his appreciation and the love for his mother, especially after his father had passed away. My father said that Jim would talk often about his mother and was always doing something and caring for her. It just shows you just where his heart was all the time. But my story goes back to, because we're talking about my father, and it's when my father was a new kid coming into the fire department. Somehow, he mysteriously got stationed at Station 15. But he knew it was because somebody pulled some strings for him. And he said, yeah, you know, Colussy got me there. He said, because I was a worker. I don't know why, but my father went into his Irish New York accent all of a sudden. And, you know, I'm talking to my father, so it started to drift a little bit. I had to pull him back. Now he's talking about Italian festivals in New York when he was a child, and his love for Italian sausage and sourdough bread at the Italian festivals. And I'm like, oh my God, that's where I get it from. I had my whole childhood, I had a firehouse, and I'm not gonna lie, this morning I had some Italian sausage before I came. But Jim went out of his way, Chief Colussy went out of his way to get my father there at 15. My father really appreciated that. And his experience right from the beginning, right from meeting him, you know, you're brand new. It was a unique dynamics. My father was roughly the same age. He was coming in brand new, and Chief Colussy was already a lieutenant at the time, working the truck, the old Seagrave. But shockingly, I was riding 25 years later, the same Seagrave, open cabs up the back, and they had the old 73 Mack there, and the hose wagon. For some of the younger generation. That was before my time also, so. And he worked with a lot of guys, and his impression being brand new was, what a wonderful person. He instilled confidence right away in him as a new kid, was a great teacher, the words came out of his mouth, a great instructor, loved the fire department, shared that, and he made sure his team was ready, dedicated, and ready to go out there and help whenever they were needed. He said right from day one, he's out of abandoned houses. Chief Colussy, well at that time lieutenant, is ripping holes in abandoned buildings, tearing down walls, just learning the art of the trade, because they were old school. They wanted to make sure their skill base was where it needed to be. My father appreciated that. Never forgot that. He carried that on. He taught that to me, and hopefully I carried that on. And so the effect Chief Colussy had was generational. It really was. And I appreciate that. And then my father was talking about some of the guys on his crew back then. It was at 15, Lieutenant Colussy at the time. He was riding the truck. Cisco was the captain. I can remember some of the other names. It was John Spam, Sid Thomas, Harry Combs. Who am I forgetting? Joe Amos. So some of the guys that he mentioned, and had a lot of fond memories of. Stepping back for a minute, because I lost track, he also really appreciated the times he went to your house. Christmas parties and get-togethers, still talked about him and how much he enjoyed that, how much he appreciated that. But getting back to it, because I always believe that sometimes we don't realize what that other world is like that our loved one goes to when they're in the fire service. We get glimpses of it. But I want you to know that Chief Colussi's was highly respected. He's one of those individuals that people looked up to. And in our business, that means a lot. My father recalls a call was on me, 2-story building. He's brand new, it's one of his first fires ever. It's chaotic. There's thick black smoke everywhere. People are hanging out windows, jumping out windows. The truck's rolling up. It's just crazy. He gets off as a new kid. From all the training he said that he received, he grabs the ladder and he's going. Before this, in the middle of this chaos, Lieutenant Colussi's at the time looks over at him, gets off the truck and says, "Good job, kid." He doesn't say kid, he says good job. But the way he said it and what he instilled was, all hands, you got this. We're gonna take care of this and you're gonna be fine. Because of his calmness, his demeanor, the crews that he built, the teams he developed, and that mentality, they saved a lot of lives that day. Matter of fact, one was when my father was putting up the ladder. There was an engineer that had to come up and help him. It was Bowers, Engineer Bowers. And so before they got the ladder to the window, the guy was already on it sliding down. That's how crazy it was, and people were just panicking to get out of there. But the overall message that my father sent to me was, because of Lieutenant Colussi's demeanor, the way he carried himself, the way he ran his crew, and the way the crew ran together, the old 15 crew, they saved a lot of lives that day. That impact is generational on all those people and families at it, because that's what these guys did. That's what a lot of these guys out here, everybody knows out here, they've done all that. And I want you to know that your husband, your father, your grandfather, he was a hero. He saved lives that day, and it wasn't the only day he saved lives. And I think that's important for us to remember what these guys did, what your father did, what your husband did. He was a hero. And my father really respected that and appreciated him. Years later, fast forward, my father's an operator, and now it's Chief Colussi's. And what my father said about Jim Colussi's as a chief is that all of those qualities carried over. The instinct, the confidence, just the calmness. He led people, and people just appreciated being around him. The words he used were, he was a wonderful man, he was a great father, and he cared. Now, me personally, I'd just like to say that I really appreciated him myself. I met him when I was back in 1989. I hadn't been in the fire department yet, but he was at my father's retirement dinner, and I had met him before at some of the get-togethers and the fire, going to the fire station and visiting. And the minute I met him, I felt like I knew him my whole life. And he just made me feel like I was part of his world. And from that day on, I got in the fire department a couple years later. Had the fortune to see him throughout the years. Even at the last dinner, it was the same thing that I always experienced. I walked up to him, sat down to talk, and he made me feel like I was family, just coming back home, and just cared so much. He just made me feel good about life. That's the way he was. Yeah, I appreciated that. My father appreciated it. And I think at the end of the day, when you You can look back and you can say someone was a great father, a great husband, a great firefighter, a great fireman, and he loved his family. I'd say he did it right.
Hi, my name is Shelley Combs. My dad was Howard Combs. Jim and my dad met each other in the fire department when they were brand new. They were instant friends. They called each other brothers from another mother. Big Jim is what I always called him. I don't think I ever called him Jim. So Big Jim, I've known him my entire life. So many family memories with the Colussi'S. Camping, coastal trips, diving for abalone, the Monterey, let's see, Kennedy Meadows, all the fishing. Jim was super talented. Douglas City. And then Arnold days with the cabins and all the work all around. When us kids wanted to learn to fish, Jim would build us cages to catch our baby terrariums. He built me a huge terrarium for my snakes and iguanas. I still have one. I still have a terrarium, and I still have my bug catcher. Judy, they used to play cards together. The parents would stay up late at night. We'd end up falling asleep on the couches.
They cheated.
Yes. The girls got sick of losing to the boys after coming back from fishing. So they came up with signals, and then they were kicking their butt, and they were so mad. Oh my gosh. That was great. Yeah, just so many memories. One time, I just remember being so amazed at how big Jim was, tall, you know, besides his big soul, big heart, big personality, he's this big, strong man, super talented. And he and Dad were laying railroad ties around the property to have pathways to walk and whatnot. And when they get thirsty, of course, they always wanted a couple banquets. Where's banquets? So Shelly girl would say, "Oi, Shelly girl," and call for me and say, we need some banquets out here. And so I bring him beers, you know, I have them in my arms, and you go, "Give him here," because his hand would be carrying tools or something, and he just stuck his hand up. He's like, "Keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming." He fit all those beers between his fingers, and then walked away with them. And I was like, who can do that? They're such great. All right, well, we're gonna miss him. He was there for me when my dad passed away. I could call him anytime. Love you very much.
Couple of stories. Few of us spent a lot of time on Lake Elsinore and up in British Columbia fishing. That was one of our favorite things. But both Jim, and Johnny Armitage used to fish together on a little tin boat we called the hobo. And one of the things that they enjoyed more than anything else was giving Brian Lawrence a bad time. And Brian used to shake his head when he'd see the cases of beer come out of the back of Johnny's truck. "How much you guys gonna drink?" "Oh, we gotta equalize ourselves. We need plenty." And so they come out with a hand truck loaded up with beer. But one day, one of the funniest things I saw was they had their boat and they had a little raft behind it. And it was loaded up with cases of beer. It was a beer barge. They followed her on the boat. Brian Lawrence took one look at that and he goes, "Oh, Jesus Christ." He couldn't believe it. But they played with them all the time. But our trips up there were always laughs. That continued on into Canada. There's several guys in this room that were on those trips. I'm looking at one right now. Augie with the doghouse. A lot of fun. but those memories will stick with me forever. And Jim was always right there. It was in the middle of it, dicing up fish. You do our filleting and stuff. So that was his job. He loved doing it. One other story that, I don't want to bore you, but several years ago, we were all on a cruise ship together. And I think we're going to the Panama Canal. Yeah. And they had a karaoke contest going on. And Jim got the bright idea to enter that. And so he and my wife and that were going to sing. And Judy, and who was with you? The three of you. Angie and Kathy. My sister Kathy. And there you go back there, Tally. And Angie Campus. And yeah, they were the doo-wop girls. They were in the background. Doo-wop. Now, Lynn's microphone didn't work, so Jay starts off the song. He finds somebody in the audience and goes, You've lost that love and feeling. And I went downhill from there. But Mark Myers is sitting in the audience. He goes, Cruise, $3,000, bar bill, $2,000, Colussi'S singing, priceless. We had a lot of fun. But that's about wearing me out, so anybody else have a story to tell?
I entered Station 20 as a new kid in 1983. I met Jim, Chief Colusi there, and he saw how I was studying all the time, wanted to be in the fire department and all this. And he said, okay, new kid, stop putting our books away, we're playing volleyball. That's the kind of guy he was. Later on, I think around 1985, we went up to the cabin in Arnold. Judy, you remember that?
Yeah.
Who were the kids there?
In 85? That would have been right here.
Were you one of those going down the snow slide screaming all the way? That was you?
Yeah.
That was so funny. Boy, that's what he always used to say to those Bigfoot. Anyway, God, miss him. Thank you so much.
All right. Let's see. Mark, are you going to come up here? Good. Because I was going to tell you a story and I didn't think it was that great.
Voices kind of shot, so I'll do the best I can. One of the things about Chief Colusi is he's probably the only chief that didn't write me up. I was an engineer, as an engineer, or actually a red engine. I was coming in, and I was about 3 minutes late. And the chief on duty was Dave Lewis. Kind of a prick. And so he told me to write myself up and give it to the chief coming in. So I sat down, wrote no reason why I was late, promised never to do it again. And the chief came out, Colusi. I go, here, Chief. Dave Lewis was 2 minutes late. He made himself write myself up. I said, give it to you. He looked at it, rolled it up, put it in the paper, and was that idiot.
Thanks, Mark. That pretty much simplified it. But I bet you were late one more time. Anybody else? Anybody? All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Wait. Go to the bar, get something to drink, get your courage up. The mic will be open here. We'll give it a rest for a few minutes and pick it up. We still got plenty of time. Thanks.
one waiting by your side. You've been running, hiding much too long. You know it's just your foolish mind. Hey, love, got me on my knees, later, begging, darling, please, later. Darling, won't you ease my worry now? Tried to give you consolation. Your old man let you down. Like a fool, I fell in love with you. You turned my whole world upside down. Hey, love, got me on my knees, hey, love, begging, darling,